Hello and a warm welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Olajide Bello. Remember, you can watch these broadcasts live on our website nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. And let's start from Bauchi, where Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived, leading the federal government delegation to the funeral of late Sheikh Dahiru Usman Bauchi, one of the country's most revered Islamic scholar, whose lifelong devotion to knowledge and spiritual guidance shaped generations across Nigeria and beyond. He departed Abuja earlier today at the behest of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and is accompanied by a strong delegation that includes the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, Ministers of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, Senators Abdul Aziz Yari and Shehu Buba, along with senior presidential aides. Special Advisor to the President, Dr. Aliu Modibo Umar Abdulaziz, among others. The Vice President will also condole with the bereaved family, the Tijaniya movement and the wider Muslim community and pray for God's mercy upon Sheikh Dahiru Bauchi's soul and for comfort for all who mourn him. Our President Bola Tinubu has approved the establishment of the National Tax Policy Implementation Committee. The committee, which Mr. Joseph Tegbe chairs, will ensure the implementation of the administration's landmark tax reforms in line with the economic aspirations of the government and people of Nigeria. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, will oversee the committee's work. The committee will undertake extensive consultations across the public and private sectors to ensure broad-based input into the implementation process. Its chairman, Tegbe, is a fellow of both the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. Mr. Sonyade Koli, Special Advisor to the President on Finance and Economy, will serve as the committee's secretary, while members also include Ismail Ahmed, Ruqayya El-Rufai and others. In establishing the committee, President Tinubu emphasized that effective implementation of the Tax Act is central to the nation's economic transformation agenda and critical to strengthening public finance management while safeguarding the legitimate expectations of investors and productive sectors. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onuga, indicates that the committee comprises experts drawn from tax administration, finance, law and private sector, and the civil society, ensuring a balanced and inclusive approach to policy execution. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's recent declaration of a national emergency on security is a bold and decisive step towards addressing the growing concerns of citizens on the menace. The Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf stated this while addressing senior government officials on his administration's efforts to address security and related issues across the state. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
Among the recent measures taken to curb the influx and activities of criminals from neighboring states, Kano State Government donated 10 operational vehicles, 100 motorcycles and additional logistical support to the Joint Security Task Force. During a meeting with senior government officials, an event during which several organizations presented him with awards in recognition of his security and other development initiatives, Governor Bakabri Yusuf reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening intelligence gathering and rapid response capabilities to ensure that terrorists and other criminal elements find no foothold in Kano. Referencing the recent declaration of a national security emergency and the accompanying directives issued to service chiefs, Governor Yusuf expressed confidence in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's resolve to address the security challenges confronting Nigerians.
I will therefore congratulate Mr. President on this bold decision he took betterment of all Nigerians.
He appealed to residents to remain calm, vigilant and supportive of ongoing government and security operations aimed at safeguarding lives and property across the state. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
On to regional matters, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has suspended Guinea-Bissau from all its decision-making bodies with immediate effect. The decision was reached at an extraordinary summit chaired by President Julius Maada Bio of Sierra Leone.
Summit of ECOWAS heads of state and government strongly condemned the military takeover in Guinea-Bissau and demanded the immediate and unconditional restoration of constitutional order. ECOWAS commended the people of Guinea-Bissau for their resilience and commitment to democracy during the electoral process, while expressing grave concern over the military's disruption of the elections. The regional bloc categorically rejected any arrangement that legitimizes the illegal interruption of the democratic process or undermines the will of the people. He demanded that the coup leaders allow the National Electoral Commission to announce the results of the 23rd November presidential runoff without further delay. ECOWAS further called for the immediate and unconditional release of President Umaru Sissoco Embalo, detained electoral officials, and all other political figures held by the military. The leaders warned that the organizers and perpetrators of the coup will be held individually and collectively responsible for any harm inflicted on the president or other detained persons. They also demanded that safe passage be guaranteed for ECOWAS and international election observers. The extraordinary session of the ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council, chaired by Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio, was attended by the presidents of Cabo Verde, Ghana, Liberia, Nigeria, Senegal, and Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire's Vice President, and senior ministers from Benin, Gambia, and Togo. Meanwhile, ousted President Umaru Sissoco Embalo, having been released by the military officers who overthrew his government earlier this week, has fled to neighboring Senegal, Senegalese authorities confirmed on Friday. His transfer followed intensive negotiations led by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, amid rising tensions in the coup-prone nation. Since gaining independence from Portugal in 1974, Guinea-Bissau has experienced numerous coups and attempted coups, with the latest incident representing yet another setback for democratic stability in the region. Francis Udojo, NTA News.
And away from regional matters, former Chief of Defense Staff General Martin Luther Agwai is advocating deployment of latest technology in the fight against insecurity in the country. General Agwai, who stated these are the 10th anniversary celebration of the Nigerian Army Resource Center in Abuja, stressed the need to develop and deploy homegrown military hardware to upscale the ongoing fight against insecurity.
And with all the security challenges that we have we really realized that it is not only the military that has the key, and then how much do we collaborate between our security and intelligence group?
Over the past decade, the Nigerian Army Resource Center has remained a beacon of knowledge, research, and strategy hub in matters relating to national security.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wadi Shuaibu, lauded the contribution of the Nigerian Army Resource Center to innovation, capacity building and research solutions to the security situations in the country. The Nigerian Army Resource Center was established, among other things, to provide research-based solutions to the nation's security challenges. To bolster national security and accountability, the Nigerian Air Force is actively expanding its partnerships with key government agencies. Our defense correspondent reports that this new push for interagency cooperation is a direct initiative from the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Aneke, aimed to strengthen civil-military relations and ensure its operations are conducted with utmost professionalism and respect for human rights. The Chief of Civil Military Relations, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gapquet, led the outreach, beginning with a visit to the National Human Rights Commission. There, the Executive Secretary, Dr. Tony Ojukwu, commended the NAF for its groundbreaking work on a civilian harm mitigation and response action plan.
One major concern all over the world is that let us not, in the process of fighting terrorism or insurgency, forget human rights. Because the tendency is always there.
Joint initiatives to promote understanding and trust between Nigerian Air Force and civilians while fostering positive relationships, and then seeking for advice on how the Nigerian Air Force can develop other policies and procedures that will ensure that we can comply to human rights standards.
The engagement extended to the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons and the Department of Public Prosecution to reinforce the necessity of collaboration to tackle shared challenges, including human trafficking and human rights abuses. The widened stakeholder engagement signals a new chapter for the Nigerian Air Force, one where interagency synergy is central to its mission of securing the nation while safeguarding the rights and welfare of its citizens. Olajide. The Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association NAWA has taken a major step in empowering its members with the launch of a multi-purpose cooperative society. The initiative is designed to provide members with access to loans and financial support to grow their businesses. Jonathan Omajali reports.
What started as a simple idea 7 months ago has translated into reality as the NAWA Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society officially comes to life. The bright smiles on the faces of Army officers' wives say it all. To them, this is more than an event. It is a lifeline, a financial support system designed to strengthen their businesses today and secure their future tomorrow.
This cooperative is a significant addition to NAWA's long-standing commitment to the welfare of our family. It will serve as a financial support system for officers' wives, young entrepreneurs, and widows of the fallen heroes.
There's going to be opportunities for people to actually access affordable loans to develop whatever entrepreneurial efforts that they are engaged in.
A key feature of the initiative is its digital backbone, a user-friendly mobile app that allows members across Nigeria to save easily and conveniently. As Nigerian Army personnel dedicate themselves to safeguarding the nation, they can take pride in knowing that their wives are equally engaged, saving, investing, and building prosperity through this new cooperative society. In Abuja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
The federal government has expressed concern about the prolonged different narratives about Nigeria's security situation, particularly those promoting an agenda capable of causing disunity among Nigerians. At the 25th anniversary of ActionAid, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, was firm that security remains a priority in the agenda of the federal government. Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
ActionAid Nigeria, operating under the umbrella of ActionAid International, a non-governmental organization that provides support to vulnerable communities, building their resilience in the face of disasters and supporting their access to essential services. Since 1999, Nigeria and her citizens have benefited from this gesture.
Let us reaffirm what has sustained us through these decades. Our humility to listen before we act, and our solidarity with the poor and excluded, which will always be the only bias that we declare.
Supporting the government in all spheres of human endeavor. You have been doing fantastically well.
Congrats for what you've been able to achieve, but most importantly, your job has just begun.
The government spokesman, who is also the chairman of the occasion, acknowledged the organization's 25 years journey in Nigeria as impactful.
We urge that you also add your voices in support of our ethno-religious uniqueness and let your scientific insight into the Nigerian situation take a positive lead in your appraisals. Let me reassure Nigerians and our partners here today that the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will continue to respond swiftly, decisively, and compassionately wherever citizens, especially children, are in danger. Our children must be safe in their schools, safe in their communities, and safe in their homes. But only by working together can we achieve this purpose.
He is confident that the federal government's innovative ideology through youth empowerment, the creation of the Ministry of Livestock, and humanitarian services by the relevant ministry are all geared towards fighting injustice and poverty in Nigeria. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
The multi-stream TM Limited, a harbour company notable for the production of effective products and advancing research in pharmacognosy and natural medicine. To this end, the company has renovated and donated to the Faculty of Pharmacy, University of Uyo, undergraduate and postgraduate laboratories. Oku Ekpenyong reports.
Cognosy is the study of the chemical, physical, and biological properties of natural products and their potential for medicinal and health benefits. Being crucial to drug research and development processes, Multistream TM Limited finds it apt to renovate laboratories in the Faculty of Pharmacy in the University of Uyo. This is, however, marked with the commissioning of the facility by the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Nyaudo Ndayo.
We commission in the name of God the Father, Amen. Son, Amen. And the Holy Spirit. Amen. Management, we will ensure that we bring up an enabling environment to make this place very functional and useful.
For founder and president, Multistream TM Limited, Asukwo Emmanuel, the development is a bold contribution to building a body of knowledge while encouraging research. With this contribution to knowledge, Mr. Emmanuel hopes that Nigeria will continue to make strides in pharmacy.
This is our country. No matter the aid we receive, it will not be enough. But we as a people, we must come together with our resources, making sacrifices to build our country.
Academics in the Faculty of Pharmacy are grateful that the facility will improve learning and research.
I know that God will lift up Mr. Asukwo Emmanuel. Not only himself, people who have the type of mind he has.
Multistream TM Limited says it will always improve the lives of Nigerians in different spheres. In Uyo, Oku Ekpenyong, NTA News.
The president of the Chartered Institute of Risk Management, Kevin Buke, has urged women in different careers to remain resilient and intentional, leveraging their networks and strengthening mentorship pathways towards leadership. He stated this at the Maiden Women's Roundtable put together by the professional body in Lagos with the theme, Resilient Leadership, Stories of Resistance, Adaptability and Innovation.
The gathering brought together women from all walks of life to connect and brainstorm on how to navigate phases of life to remain relevant in their fields of endeavor.
But when women rise, industries strengthen. When women lead, societies thrive. And when women are equipped and empowered, nations prosper. We believe strongly that the future of risk management must be inclusive, as well as diverse, collaborative, and bold.
First Vice President of the Chartered Risk Management Institute, Eneni Uduole, urged them to take advantage of possibilities and positions of leadership in a complex and rapidly changing world.
We're gathered today under a theme that is both a disruptor of our past and a blueprint of our future, and is couched resilient leadership, stories of resilience, adaptability, and innovation. So we need to come together and learn from each other how to manage, the different things that we have to face as women, professional women.
Other speakers also advocate the need for Nigerian women to stand tall in their sectors, manage risks, to drive economic development, strengthen industries, promote inclusivity and diversity through collaborative efforts.
The Lift Africa Foundation has reaffirmed its commitment to driving community sensitization efforts, particularly on digital violence targeting women and children. The organization made this known during a press briefing to launch the 2025 United Nations 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence. Rosemary Bilal reports.
Lift Africa Foundation has reaffirmed its commitment to promoting gender equality and supporting survivors of gender-based violence. Founder Aisha Aman said the organization, established in 2018, continues to drive awareness and legal aid for women and children.
This year's global theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls, highlights the alarming rise in cyberstalking, online harassment, image-based abuse, sextortion, impersonation, and non-consensual deepfake content, overwhelmingly targeting women and girls.
She noted that the 2025 16 Days of Activism will focus on Kano State, which is yet to fully domesticate the VAPP Act. Aisha added that Human Rights Day will be marked under the theme Building Pathways to Protection, while calling for swift action following the recent adoption of school girls. Rosemary Moltelen Bilal, NTA News.
Now let's head to the Center of Excellence, where Awal Yusuf Jibo is standing by for more reports nationwide. Hello, Awal.
Nigeria's exit from the Financial Action Task Force grey list signals a dawn for the financial landscape to thrive. Experts attribute this to the tightening of policies and rules to curb illicit financial flows and stronger laws against terrorism financing and money laundering. Industry watchers believe the outcome of this will give rise to positive global perception, boost investors' confidence, and lessen global restrictions on Nigerians plying international trade. Amaka O reports.
According to online data, the Financial Action Task Force is an intergovernmental global body established in 1981 to set international standards to promote policies to protect the integrity of the global financial system. Industry players say the grey list refers to jurisdictions under increased monitoring, which means that countries under this list work to address strategic deficiencies. The removal of Nigeria from the grey list, therefore, is a positive outcome, expected to propel economic growth. Industry players also identify implications of this move in boosting the nation's image at the level of international trade.
There is 4 trillion idle fund. I'm not even talking of wealth. Why can't we create value within the African system where those money can be tapped for investment, for projects, for developing ourselves? And how do we do that? We do that by focusing on how to harness what others have done.
Now that we're out of that dark tunnel, we should make sure that we don't get back, ever get back into that tunnel. And the only way to do it is to have very formidable institutional structures.
More importantly, experts say there is an urgent need for attitudinal change in fostering transparency and best practices, especially for small and medium-scale enterprises to thrive for economic growth expansion.
We need to ensure that our values, are revived, and hard work, integrity, honesty, we shouldn't go into criminal activities. If our GDP grows at double digits, that will also impact on our per capita income. That will also impact on our living standards.
Nigeria's exit, industry watchers also say, is expected to trigger bigger economic viability for maximum gains. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
And now to health. Medical research is crucial for developing new treatments and improving public health. Experts and key players, including former Governor of Lagos State Babatunde Raji Fashola, are advocating adequate funding to strengthen the nation's health research outcomes. Hingino John Adams reports.
The global health sector is faced with various challenges, including infectious and non-communicable diseases, At the center of all these lies the critical role of medical research as it provides answers to questions and solutions to problems.
Groundbreaking discoveries lose their power when they remain locked within laboratories, academic journals, and conference halls. Research achieves its full value only when it is understood, applied, and transformed into solutions.
The federal government has provided a funding support system for the nation's apex medical research institute, NIMA Foundation, to further strengthen the health sector. The initiative is yielding positive results, like the invention of a biotech DNA extraction kit. Despite the successes, stakeholders believe more funds are needed to enhance the research capacity of NIMA.
The health of our nation depends not only on science but on a belief that Nigeria's solutions can come from Nigeria. Capacity strengthening through set people of training, PhD, fellowships, postdoctoral opportunities, sabbatical positions, and commissioned research is essential to building a robust science base.
Apart from funding, experts believe investing in human capital will also have a positive impact on the health sector. In Lagos, Hinginu, John Adams, NTA News.
And that concludes our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Abuja after this break. Do stay with us.
Well, thanks for being there, and I am being joined via phone by our correspondent Muhazu Hassan, who is in Bauchi, where the burial of Sheikh Dahiru is presently ongoing. Muhazu, if you can hear me, can you just give us a feel of the environment there? What exactly is going on? Has the body landed, and what other activities are lined up?
Educating and encouraging the followers to follow the right path of our Prophet
that once I as an individual of God, can say I've never witnessed this kind of gathering I'm seeing today.
All right, many thanks, Muhazu. Many thanks. Muhazu, many thanks. I know you have loads and loads of information for us, but definitely we would be re-establishing contact with you. Many thanks. We will be joining you later, Muhazu. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Muazu Hassan, our correspondent there. Now let's join Dibabari in Port Harcourt for stories making the rounds from that zone. Dibabari, good to see you.
River State House of Assembly has called on the state government to declare a state of emergency to primary and secondary education. This follows a report presented by the Chairman House Committee on Education, Igwe Ofoji, detailing the deteriorating condition of public schools, especially the destruction and looting at the Township School, Moscow Road, Port Harcourt. Assembly correspondent Nkiro Njesi reports.
Presenting his report, Chairman of the House Committee on Education, Honorable Igwe Ofoji, lamented the severe decay across public schools in River State. He urged the House to call on the state government to declare a state of emergency on primary and secondary education to salvage the deteriorating infrastructure and learning conditions.
Against the background, the committee recommends as follows: that the House do invite the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, and the chairman of River State Ministry of Education to appear before her, explain the state of affairs in the universal education schools in our dear state. Pursued the government to embark on immediate security architecture of all township schools, especially the ones we visited, that are in the heart of the state capital.
Responding after contributions from the lawmakers, Speaker Martin Amehule described the condition of public schools as disturbing. He also condemned the persistent absence of teachers in the system, stressing the need for urgent coordinated action to restore quality education in the state.
How would anyone believe that in the year 2025, in a state like River State, one teacher will be teaching 2 classrooms under one roof?
During plenary, the House Committee on Environment and Urban Development also presented its report calling for strict adherence to the River State Master Plan to prevent reoccurring incidents of flooding and environmental degradation. In Port Harcourt, Nkiru Onyejesi, NTA News.
Reconstruction of the River State House of Assembly complex is to be completed shortly for legislative activities to recommence. Governor Siminalayi Fubara inspected work progress at the complex and is optimistic that by December, the complex will be ready to serve as venue for 2026 appropriation bill presentation. Kingsley Amaji reports.
The River State House of Assembly was demolished after it got burned down in the heat of the then political crisis that rocked the state. While speed of work at the site was affected by the emergency rule, Governor Siminalayi Fubara promises that his administration will ensure that lawmakers resume sitting at the permanent complex soon. Governor Fubara is impressed with the job so far done at the State House of Assembly complex and said the interior and some external works have been subletted to accelerate work and meet the scheduled timeline of completion.
I will make sure that I put it ready, make it ready for them, so that by the time we'll be presenting our budget for 2026, we'll do it in the main Halo chambers with the way and the manner that is required of us to do it. Now that everything has been sorted out, and it is our desire to ensure that the assembly returns back to their normal and rightful place of sitting.
The remaining part of the complex that was not demolished is expected to be renovated by the leadership of the River State House of Assembly once sitting resumes at the complex. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. It's back to Lajide for the rest of the news. Good evening.
Many thanks, Dibabari. Moving on, President Tinubu has congratulated former National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Olisa Metu, on his 60th birthday. Metu, a lawyer and businessman, served as the PDP spokesman from 2012 to 2016. The president commended Chief Metu for his contributions to national cohesion, describing him as a consistent voice of reason whose interventions have helped bridge political and ethnic divides. He prayed for his continued good health and dedicated service to the nation. President Tinubu has also extended warm felicitations to the Olubaka of Oka Akoko Oba Yusuf Adebori Adele ahead of this year's Ihare Festival, which coincides with the monarch's 82nd birthday. The Ihare Festival, an initiation ceremony into the Elders' Council, will be held on November 29 and remains a major cultural event in Oka Akoko, Ondo State. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President paid tribute to Oba Adele's long-standing contributions to national development. He prayed for the monarch's continued wisdom and peaceful reign and wished him a joyous birthday and a successful festival. The 5th, 6th and 7th cohorts of the Third Fund Alliance for Innovative Research have completed their prototype development and showcased them. Elizabeth Amori reports that their innovations developed locally are to prefer homegrown solutions to drive industrialization in key sectors.
These are innovative works of Nigerian researchers patented for commercialization to make long-term impacts. Oluwakemi pitched an automated plastic melting and recycling machine that converts plastic wastes into durable interlocking tiles.
People pick this plastic and we give them money, provide affordable housing for all Nigeria.
She's not the only diamond in the rough, committed to bringing homegrown solutions closer to the people. TED Fund and its implementing partners are optimistic that these minimum viable products that are bankable will answer to major challenges when investors commit significantly.
The Honorable Minister only recently inaugurated a commercialization committee for research outputs, and the primary aim of that is being able to bridge that gap between research outcomes and industrial uptake, so we can now begin to mass produce for our people to use.
We are seeing a generation of researchers that are not just researching for publication, but actually researching to combat real-world challenges.
With the Academic Solution Incubation Program, it is expected that these works are scaled to promote local contents that can compete favorably in the international market. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA.
Despite its status as the seat of the Caliphate, Sokoto remains peaceful and accommodating to people of diverse ethnic backgrounds. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports that the Gagi community in the metropolis stands out as a clear example of the tolerance and peaceful coexistence Nigeria needs, not divisions.
Gaji is a cosmopolitan community in Sokoto South local government area. It is a home for people from across Nigeria who have lived together in harmony for decades. It is a true melting pot of languages and traditions, embodying cultural diversity at its finest.
As for Sokoto State, we don't really have much problem here. We have been working together, going to the same markets as peaceful citizens. And for us as Christians and religious leaders, we have been encouraging our followers to be mindful of the nature of our coexistence.
This is a community where you have the majority of Christians living in Sokoto. Under the auspices of Sarkin Yakin Gagi, Alaji Sani Jabi, we have lived in peace.
I relate with them very well, with the Muslims and the Christians very well, because my secondary school, I make friends with Muslim people. They are good.
This vibrant mix has shaped a unique social and economic order, where the residents coexist regardless of backgrounds. To many, Gagi is not just a community, but a symbol of unity, tolerance and shared prosperity, one of the reasons it is often described as a mini Nigeria. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nawaba, NTA News.
Now we join Lawali Saliu for a closer look at the warm and hospitable community.
Good evening. Now, as you can see me, I'm sitting rightly inside the palace of district head of Gagi, Sani Umar Jabi, who will shed more light or rather elaborate on what makes Gagi district mini Nigeria. Now, Your Highness, sir, Gagi district, nickname mini Nigeria. Exactly. Now, what are the rationales or other features or characteristics that makes Gagi district to be a mini Nigeria?
Okay. Good evening all. Gagi district situated in the heart of the Sokoto Caliphate, and it is also domicile of many ethno-religious Nigerians settled in that community. And over the decade, we have been living very peaceful and very symbiotic. We even build the economic. Instead of also have diversity as a problem, it become also a strength in economic development of the entire community. We are very proud to be having a resident community domicile within the area. That is what gives right to naming the Gagi as a mini Nigerian, because of different multi-ethnic and religious domination within the area, and they boost the economic aspect of society, and they're living very peaceful without causing any problem. Over the years, we have been enjoying very peaceful environment, atmosphere with all of them.
Now, in terms of peaceful coexistence, now, what do you have to say as regard to Gagi being a mini Nigeria?
So the issue is that when any community that is making also inclusive governance, bringing people of different faith, different religion, regardless of regional differences, ethnic differences or religions. So when you regard it as a strength, you will have a very big support of the people, and the people will also love the leader. They also continue to pray for the good leadership that they exist, and I believe it's a very a symbol of peace in Sokoto and in Gagi. So all the leaders in Sokoto and in Nigeria, if they emulate what we do, recognizing the right of every Nigerian citizens, irrespective of religion, political, regional or ethnic inclination, that is what gives rise for every Nigerian ethno-religious living in Gagi. They are very proud to be associated and be identified as a community member. And I believe also the younger generation, if you see in Sokoto, you can't differentiate between the whose child of the Christian, child of the mosque. And there were some areas where even the wall fence between the church and the mosque, they are using the same wall fence. So because of the physical nature, over the years, over the decade of years, we are living together. Our children, also generation to come, we have the very better understanding of religion. And that's the teaching of Islam. Islam does not teach harming one another. Islam preaches peace, love and harmony to one another. And we also practice tolerance. No matter people of different religion, culture, you must tolerate who they are and they will tolerate who you are. And again, we make a greater Nigerian, indivisible Nigerian. Because when you respect one another, they will respect you. When you respect their religion institution, they will respect your own. When you respect also their well-being as a citizen right, they will also respect you as a citizen right as a traditional institution. And that's what we do.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for having me, sir. Now, Nationwide News continues in Abuja.
Many thanks, Lawali from Sokoto there. Moving on, the federal government has launched a national agricultural traceability and environmental monitoring framework to protect Nigeria from losing over $4 billion in annual export dollars revenue due to the European Union's new deforestation-free regulation. Mr. Babali reports that the government released a white paper outlining Nigeria's EUDR compliance strategy.
The European Union has introduced the EU Deforestation Regulation (EUDR), which requires that certain commodities and products sold in or exported to the EU are not linked to the deforestation or forest degradation. To comply with the regulation before 30th December 2025 deadline, Nigeria has shown strong commitment to meeting this deadline. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security therefore released a white paper outlining the country's EUDR compliance strategy and signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDRA. Under the MOU, NASDRA will provide satellite imagery, real-time monitoring, geospatial mapping and technical expertise. The ministry will oversee farmer registration, policy integration and the nationwide rollout of the traceability framework.
Nigeria faces the risk of losing over $1 billion
in direct export earnings and more than $3 billion in total economic value each year if we fail to adopt. We cannot allow this level of exposure to place our farmers or our national economy at a disadvantage.
The foray of Nigeria into space, it's not an ego tripping, sir. It is because of the needs for food security, infrastructure development, national security, and many more.
President Bola Tinubu has approved the acquisition of 4 new Earth observation satellites, 3 high-resolution optical satellites, and 1 synthetic aperture radar satellite to boost Nigeria's geospatial capabilities in agriculture, security, and infrastructure monitoring. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And away from agriculture, let's talk some politics. And Kayode Oladosu is in Osogbo to bring us update on party primaries in Osun State. Kayode, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Olajide. What is happening in Osun right now is the first major step toward the 2026 governorship election. And INEC is leaving nothing to chance. The Commission has opened the window for political parties to conduct their primaries from November 24 to December 15, 2025. From the mood at the meeting, political parties themselves seemed aligned. With me here is the resident electoral commissioner in Osun State, Dr. Mutiu Agboke. Rek, how many parties have signaled intention for their primaries? What other steps have INEC taken also to ensure successful primaries, and what next after this primary?
Thank you. For now, I think we have 12 political parties that have notified us. And when I say notified, they have written INEC headquarters. Headquarters have notified us, and we're already preparing for them. In Osun State, we have 19 political parties. And all these political parties, they are ready with the primary. You know, we're starting from 24th of November to December 15th. And all of them, they have picked various dates for this exercise. And from the mood of every political party, they are ready for this primary.
So what next after this primary?
No, after the primaries, they follow the timetable, already released. They will upload their candidate INEC portal. The procedure is also there, which of course they know. Well, after they do that, they will look at the next thing on the, on the timetable. We go to the issue of campaign, and full activity will commence. And you will know that something is going to happen in Osun State.
How prepared are you, sir?
Every now and then we are prepared. You look at the time now. We need to remain here, and we have to attend to everything that has to do with the election. So we are ready, any moment, anytime, any day.
Thank you, Dr. Mutiu Agboke. At the moment, all is set for Osun 2026 governorship election in motion. Olajide, over to you there.
All right, many thanks, Kayode. I hope you are also prepared, just like the rec there in Osun just said. Now let's head to the food basket of the nation, where Susan Omale is joining us for the next round of reports nationwide. Susan, take it up from here.
Jide, it's good to have you join us in Makurdi. The Benue State government has entered into a public-private partnership with technical partners for promotion of mechanized farming and training of farmers on assemblage of farm equipment. Governor Hyacinth Alia stated this when he visited the Benue State Agribusiness and Mechanization Center, where he inspected some of the recently procured farming equipment by the state government. Elias Itiav has more.
Agribusiness and Mechanization Center is a hub designated by the state government for the assemblage of farm equipment and for purposes of training farmers in assembling and maintaining of equipment. Governor Hyacinth Alia is here at the center to inspect a variety of recently procured farming equipment by the state government to encourage farmers to go into mechanized farming and to improve their incomes. Governor Hyacinth Alia, who expressed satisfaction with the partnership, tasked the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to recalibrate their mode of operations for optimal results. He disclosed that the State Agribusiness and Mechanization Center will not just assemble the procured equipment, but also train farmers on how to assemble and maintain them.
If we are privileged to have a mechanization center here, it does multiple tasks for us, including the training. So here is also a training center with the young people of about 200 that have already finished the first phase of their mechanization training, and I'm quite happy.
Acting Director General, Bureau for Agricultural Development and Mechanization, and Director of Wealth Creation and Entrepreneurship, as well as the private investors, said the partnership is a win-win situation for both parties.
It's an assembly plant meant for farmers to come and learn how to assemble their plants, how to uptake these tractors and other implements to go into mechanized agriculture.
The ripple effect across the value chain is very high. So it's a program that is not just, it's agricultural based, but then it ripples across different sectors.
The governor also inspected the demonstration farm site where the center is experimenting with different crop species with the aim of improving crop yield and ensuring food security and sufficiency. In Makudi, Elias, Etiaf, NTA News.
From Makudi, we return to Olajide in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Susan, and that's it on Nationwide. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello. Enjoy the rest of your day.